Hello, 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 everyone. This is Shelly LJ, and you are on the Way Christian Talk. Thank you for being with me tonight. I am so excited to have you. I am really grateful. I have a super guest with me today, and I am just excited to have him on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming in. If you're on Facebook, please tag and share. If you are on YouTube, come on in and subscribe, and make sure that you like us on Facebook as well. We are here on the Way Christian Talk. I am so glad that you are here with us. And so today we have a guest, and our guest is no other than Shawn A. White. He is a phenomenal businessman. He helps people to understand their goals and understand how to reach their goals and obtain them through hypnotherapy. And he is a gentleman, a 100% gentleman. You cannot say if there's a Shawn White that there is no more gentleman there to pull out your chair, to open your door. And so I am just excited to have him on the show. And with no further ado, here is Shawn White. Hello, Shawn.
Wow, you know what? That was a great intro too, and just let the record show that yeah, that was pretty awesome, and I definitely appreciate that. I mean, that really says a lot. So I definitely appreciate that, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, and let's do what we came to do.
Well, Shawn, that opening was not as good as the opening that you gave me. I tried, but the words that you used were just phenomenal. And I'm still trying to catch up with you when it comes to introducing people. I'm still trying to uh, make sure that I use um, just the enthusiasm that you used to introduce other people. How are you?
You know what? I'm okay. Really okay. I'm going through a season of perseverance along with faith and inspired action. And I look at this more so as being like a test. But you know what, though?
Okay,
Coming out on top. So to answer your question in the short form, I'm okay.
good. It's good to hear that. It's good to hear that you are okay. A lot of us are going through a test right now. A lot of us are being tested to be proven righteous. And so, we are going through making sure that I think it's just something that God is just doing amongst a lot of us. The last time we talked, I was on your show, and I was so grateful to be on your show. Thank you for having me again,
Absolutely.
and for transformation greatness. And so I said, I need to have you on my show. I need for you to come on so my audience could get to know who you are and some of the things that you do. If you could just tell us just a little bit about you.
Okay, sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, my name is Shawn A. White, the founder and creator of a brand which is called Transformation Greatness, which is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. And with that, I've been able to develop the skill sets of being a speaker, a coach, also as well as a hypnotherapist practitioner, as you just alluded to, Michelle. A radio and TV personality with a small business network, and I'm a part of so many different organizations, but overall, I'm just a servant leader. I'm someone that's been in this game now for about 13 years, and each and every single day, I learn something new. I'm never one of those individuals that feel like, as far as that, I know everything, that I got it all, and I'm a lifelong student. So in terms of like teachers, like man, I mean, people from Les Brown, John C. Maxwell, Reverend Ike, Joel Osteen, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Dr. Joseph Murphy, the late and great Bob Proctor, Eric Thomas. The list goes on and on and on. But I think you guys get the drift.
Yes, yes. I think we get the drift too. I just wanted to thank you guys for being on the Way Christian Talk. We have Shawn A. White. Shawn A. White is from Transformation Greatness and also Small Business Network podcast host. He also deals in the realm of entrepreneurship, media, professional, and personal transformation. And so I know that I wanted to definitely hit on some of the ventures that you are in. I know that we last time we talked about more of the transformation side and more of the helping people to understand their fullness and how to gain and how to get to that fullness and
Correct.
how to know um, how to get there. The
Correct.
one thing that we didn't talk about was transformation greatness. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So transformation greatness was really birthed out of a place of desperation. And for those that may have been following me for quite some time, I'm very transparent as far as with my story. It was
Mhm.
birthed out of a place of pain and really
Okay.
desperation.
Okay.
I was in a bad place. I was homeless at that time. And
Wow.
I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Didn't know anyone whatsoever.
Okay.
And I was broken not only financially, emotionally, but also spiritually as well. I didn't know as far as up from down, left from right. I was just really in a bad space.
Mhm.
And so with transformation greatness, I'll never forget this story. And I love telling it as well because every time I think about it, it gives me chills.
Mhm.
It all started when I came out of church.
Okay.
And I was in a park, and I was listening to some gospel music, and I was reading the word. Now, I like to compare this to the movie Matrix,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. The scene when Keanu Reeves, he was walking down Manhattan, he was walking through the city. He wasn't
Okay.
happy with his life in the direction in which that he was going whatsoever. And then that's when everything froze and Morpheus was actually speaking to him in the background. I
Okay.
want you so I want you all just
Okay.
to have that image, okay? Now, for me, that was very similar because I was watching people move as normal. I was watching traffic go back and forth as normal. However, everything froze.
Okay.
And in that moment, I had divine intervention. And he
Wow.
mentioned to me at that time is that I've been hearing your cries, my son.
Wow.
I have heard you. And you're going to be the founder and creator of a brand called Transformation Greatness, which is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. You're going to travel all around the world, showing people that it's possible to overcome their self-limited doubts and beliefs,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So when he said that, he said to serve and feed his people, his sheep.
Right.
I said, interesting. Didn't pay no mind, right? Everything went back to normal. Everything was flowing. But
Okay.
then a few moments, no matter than a few seconds or nanoseconds, everything froze again.
Mm.
And the words was replayed again, but even louder this time. Because he wanted to make sure, the creator wanted to make sure that he got my full attention. And so with that, it just felt like a sense of inner peace. I knew it wasn't my conscience. I knew it wasn't my way of thinking, right? Because I'm like, no, this was bigger and deeper than that. And everybody that's listening know that there's gonna be several times in your life in which that you'll have God-like moments or God moments. And that was one of those moments.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had an option at that time. I could have either just dismissed it and said, "Oh, it was just my thinking. It was just my imagination," right?
Mhm.
In which, by the way, your imagination is tied to God because it is a gift from the
Right.
Most High,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
I I could have just said, well, I'm being delusional, I'm hungry, whatever the case, fill in the blanks, right? Or I could have been obedient and said, okay, well, clearly I took option number two because
You
many
took the
years
blue pill.
right because many years later, and by the way, too, the gift of speaking and the gift
Mhm.
of encouragement and healing and motivating, encouraging, and inspiring people, it didn't happen overnight. Absolutely not. It was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of dedication and sacrifice and time to perfecting this craft, in which, by the way, I'm still doing that,
Right.
right?
Right.
But the journey has been amazing. And so, with transformation greatness, the reason why I'm so passionate about this brand is because it
Mhm.
wasn't something by my own intellect. It wasn't something in which that I created and said, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to be transformation greatness." Absolutely not. This was
Right.
something in which that was given to me by the Most High, and I have an obligation and an assignment to use the gifts and talents and what was so freely given to me to be able to serve His people to the highest capacity. And I'm going to go ahead and do that or die trying.
Wow.
Simple. Simple.
Wow. And you said that something stuck out in me when you said that it was almost, how you were hearing God. And all of us have different ways of how we hear God.
Correct.
Some people say it's in a small whisper of a voice. Some people say
Correct.
it's almost like a wind.
Correct.
And it is so important that when we hear God that we don't think, you know, you know, I used to my mom used to call me from way, way in the back and all you heard was Shelly. And every now and then I would hear it. But my mom was nowhere around. I'm like, okay, God.
Hmm.
Okay, God. And so with the transformation greatness, what does that provide the people that you do reach?
I love that because transformation greatness, again, because it's three phases. So, in terms of the speaking portion, one of my greatest gifts, in which I absolutely love with the brand, is to be able to empower the people, to
Okay.
motivate and inspire them. Because as you see, I'm one of the people, right?
Mhm.
I wasn't, you know, born into like a rich and wealthy family. As most people know, as far as I come from the projects, from New York City, from Brooklyn. Okay,
Okay.
I know what
Okay.
poverty is about. I know what struggle is about. Right, been through so many life or death situations. I need to write some books on that, in which I plan on doing. So, transformation greatness is coming from a space where you're going to get someone that's truly authentic, someone that's transparent, but just believe with the assignment that has been given and just really have a passion for serving the people. So,
Okay.
as with the speaking portion, I love to, anytime I do podcasts or anytime I do speaking engagements, I love to create value around that and just remind people of the greatness that they have within them.
Right. Right.
Because sometimes, well, especially most times, especially in this day and age, it's so much noise. We're in the age of chaos. We're in the age of social media, the age of news. We got so many different types of frequencies that's hitting us, each and every single day at more rapid speed now than ever before. So
Right.
what happens is that we get caught up in that and lose sight a lot of times of our true purpose or our true gift. So
Okay.
I'm just here just to remind you of how amazing and fantastic that you are. As being a coach, if we work side by side, the whole purpose is for you to really discover your true purpose and gifts and
Mhm.
how to maximize that. And that's not something that just happens overnight, right? You, it amazes me because we're again back to what I was saying. We're in a microwave society, so
Mhm.
people are like this. If I'm working with you, Shelly, and if you can't give me results like super immediately and solve all my problems, then you're not good.
Mhm.
Which I love to pose this question to people. Everything that you experience, whether it be from trauma, from hurt, from disappointment, from lack, whatever the case, did all that accumulate overnight?
Mm.
So if that's the case, if it hasn't accumulated overnight, but yet it was a multitude of events and things that happened during the course of your life, right?
Mhm.
Why are you expecting to reverse every single thing in one swoop?
Mhm. You
That's
know
not
Go ahead.
that's not realistic. However, when you can walk a person through a process and have a strategy, give them something tangible that they can do, right? Because it has to be about them and they have to be willing to work with you side by side. Over the course of time, you start seeing the results, assuming if you're doing the work. To
Right.
answer now, the third portion, which is being a hypnotherapist practitioner, it allows for me to combine as far as with the coaching and personal skills in which I have, but now add on hypnotherapy, it allows for me to help my clients and have them and work with them on a much more deeper level.
Mhm.
Because back and I explain this on your show as well, we have three parts of the brain, okay?
Mhm.
Or the
Mhm.
three
Mhm.
parts of the mind. We have the conscious mind, which is the logic, the reasoning, the decision making, the willpower, which you're
Mhm.
using your conscious mind as of right now, as you're listening to the sound of my voice, because
Right.
you're following me and you want to make sure that the information that you are getting right now, the message units, is making sense.
Correct.
We're using our conscious mind.
Okay.
This right here in the middle is called the critical mind. It's
Okay.
more like a safeguard. It's more like, let's say, for instance, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a bouncer, if you will. So the critical mind, which is it's just like this, like a wall. Excuse me, it's like a wall. It's safeguarding because there's no way that with all the messages that we get on a daily basis that we can process all that in. Because if so, then guess what? We will literally just fall out, pass out.
Right. Right.
Information overload. The subconscious mind. Listen to this. The subconscious mind, which is back here, that rules and dominates our day in and day out activities.
Okay.
Those are things in which that we have learned from the time we was born up until about now. Everything that we have learned, everything that we have adopted, all of our ideologies, from political party affiliations to different clubs or people that we associate with, all those get stored into our subconscious mind based upon past and present events. So
Mm.
with those three working as being a
Mhm.
hypnotherapist practitioner, if we were to
Mhm.
work together, you as the client, you work with this part here, the conscious mind, right?
Okay.
The logic, the
Okay.
reasoning, the decision making, the willpower, right?
Right.
By us working together, I'm able to bypass that critical mind, right? That
Mhm.
gatekeeper, if you will,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
go into the subconscious mind, and then we work on the process of empowering you and inputting positive suggestions that you listen to what I'm saying, that you as a client would like to be suggested. It doesn't work if I was to come with my own suggestions to provide to you. Yes and no, but it's so much more powerful when you offer the suggestions on how you want to feel instead. Reason being, we are more suggestible to who, Miss Shelley? Ourselves.
So what I'm hearing you say is that we can change our subconscious mind.
Absolutely.
That
Ab-
we can change what our subconscious mind thinks. and how we, because so many times things happen that you're not even aware of that you're even thinking.
Hmm. Correct.
You stub
Thousand
your
percent.
toe, and the first thing you know, your toe goes to your brain, the hurt of your toe goes to your brain, and you say, ouch.
Hmm.
You know, that's
Correct.
something that we just do. But you're saying that we can change our subconscious mind. So we can change we can relearn the things that we have learned in the past. So that's where the part of where you say that we have a transformation. That's where the transformation comes in, is that
Absolutely.
when we learn, we relearn
Correct.
and we reteach ourselves
Correct.
how to, instead of saying, man, that always happens to me, we can reteach ourselves, says, this is going to happen to me. Thank you that this always happens to me. I always have good luck. I always I always do something that's positive. That's how we can change our subconscious mind. Am I in the
A,
ballpark?
1,000%. But also too, when you're doing that, one thing you forgot, it's a big ingredient when you're doing that.
And what's
Can
that?
you have to have strong emotion and feeling. Let me give you an example, ladies and gentlemen. When I started speaking, I used to say at first, you know what? I would like to be a speaker. I think that'd be pretty cool,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Nothing wrong with that. But listen to the tone of my voice when I said that.
Right.
I would like to be a speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. As opposed to, I want to become a phenomenal speaker. I
Okay.
believe that I have the skills to make it happen. I
Okay.
am worthy. I am amazing.
Okay.
Notice the
Okay.
difference from the tonality. Let me go in
One
a little.
is, let me make sure that I'm getting what you're saying. One is, you're saying that, okay, I would like to become a speaker. And so you're saying that this is something I would like to do, not something that you're claiming that you already are. So when you say I like to do it, that means that you don't have it as of yet, because you would like to do it. But when you say I am a speaker, then you're claiming, you're putting your stamp on that, and you're saying that's what I am. So for everyone that is listening, I want to make sure that we get this right. I want you guys to click, tag, share, make sure that you have other people. This conversation is a good conversation. This is we are in the process right now of transforming the way that we think, transforming the way the things that we do. I just want to say hello to Leroy. Hi. Thank you for tuning into the show. Please share, share, share. We are on Facebook Live. We are on Inspiration 98.7 YouTube. We are on, and we are on Shelly LJ's the Way Christian Talk Facebook Live as well. I want you guys to share, share, share this. Ask your friends to come in and share this. And even after this message is done, even after this video is done, please make sure that you put replay, hashtag replay. Okay, so and thank you for being on the Way Christian Talk. All right, Shawn. Now, Shawn is a special guest of ours today. We thank you for being here already. This is we're diving in deep. Well, you
Mhm.
didn't go into the 4 feet. You went straight for the 12 feet. We are diving in deep already. So, what I'm hearing you say, and I do believe that, because the scripture says that you have the power of life and death. Now, this is putting the terminology of our brains and helping us to understand why we have the power of life and death over our lives. Why, when we say something that we're teaching ourselves, what we're saying is the truth? Because what you just said is that our subconscious is all the way in the back of our head. So we
Mhm.
have to go through all of these other channels to get to the subconscious, but the subconscious is the one that controls a lot of the things that we do. So now we're trying to take the thoughts of the other parts of our brain, because you said this part of our brain is
Conscious mind.
the conscious mind.
Correct.
This part of our brain is
The critical mind.
the critical mind.
Yes, ma'am.
This part of our brain is subconscious mind. You know, the conscious mind is all the way in front. And it's funny how the things that we conscious, critical, subconscious,
Yes, ma'am.
conscious, critical,
So,
subconscious,
yeah.
how so many things that we learn bypass the conscious, bypass the critical, and go straight to the subconscious. So it works almost backwards. It works from the conscious to the critical, because when we have that positive thought, I am a speaker. You know, when I became a minister after the training that I did for over a year and I became a minister, it was still hard for me to say my name is Minister Shelley.
Mm.
That
Mhm.
my name was that I am a minister.
Mhm.
I still struggle with that at times because I know who I am. I know whose I am,
Mhm.
but sometimes I struggle with what are people going to think of me as a minister. Even
Right.
though I went through the proper processes, even though I went through the classes through church, even though I was ordained by a bishop,
Right.
even though I went through all of the studies that I went through, even though I went through that,
Mhm.
and I wonder how many people feel the same way with a PhD. Now I have my PhD, I'm a doctor,
Mhm.
but do they introduce themselves as Doctor so and so?
Still
So
facing
I
that
need
imposter syndrome.
right.
Mhm.
And so I believe that I'm a minister? Yes. Do I walk in the authority of minister? Yes. But sometimes I think that people stop hearing you when you put a title on your name.
Mm.
But I don't know if that's my critical thinking or my subconscious thinking.
Mm.
Because my conscious thinking knows I'm a minister.
Correct. Mhm. Correct.
My critical thinking is so worried about what everybody else thinks. And my subconscious thinking, I have to speak into existence of that.
Mhm.
So that's where the words of power of life or death comes from. It comes because in our heads, we have to understand that we are our first. We talk bad about ourselves before other people talk bad about us.
1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%.
And that's
Mhm.
what we put in our subconscious. That's
Conscious.
all the way back here.
Correct. Correct.
That has to travel through the eye gates, that has to pass the ear gates,
Mhm.
and now it's all the way back there. He's
Mhm.
saying something. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood where we were because that's good. That's good. That's something to chew on. That's some real meat right there. That's something to chew on. That's not you just were y'all just were fed some meat. No liquids. That was just meat.
And
So,
also,
go
and
ahead.
and also, and also too, something I want to add because there's going to be individuals that's going to watch this interview and they're going to say, "Well, I'm a God-fearing person. I'm not into that hypnotherapy stuff you're talking about, that sounds kind of woo woo or sound kind of new age or science stuff or
Okay.
whatever self, limitation that person is saying. I want you all to remember, as far as the scriptures in Romans 12:2, if I'm not mistaken, where it says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but yet the renewing of your mind."
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that falls in that it's so much in line with that because our subconscious mind is very powerful. So the creator knew when he created us that later on down the line, right, it would be so much that would be going on in an individual's life that the subconscious mind is going to dominate our habits, our routines, how the way we treat people, etc., what we're saying to ourselves, what we're not saying to ourselves. So that's why that's very, very important. And it still ties in together, like I mentioned. So with that, that's the reason why doing the work, the rewiring of your brain is so important.
Mhm.
Because if you're
Mhm.
looking to do on what me and Michelle is doing, then not only do you have to speak those affirmations as well, but here's a big one. You have to start doing the steps.
Mm.
You have to start doing the steps because this is what's going to happen when
Mhm.
you start doing the steps. Of course you're going to get resistance from your subconscious mind because they're going to
Mhm.
say, well, who you think you are, and nobody in your family thinks that's a great idea, and
Right.
it's going to
Right.
be a whole bunch of other things.
Right.
But the
Right.
reason why you do those steps, because now as you are rewiring your brain, right,
Uh-huh.
what you're doing is now you're feeding it with more positive habits. What
Okay.
happens as you continue to do the steps is some studies that suggest in 15 days, some suggest 30 days, some 45 days. The point is the power of repetition by you doing the little steps, right? By
Right.
you doing the steps, now what happens, you are rewiring, right? Also known as neuroplasticity, but that's another topic for another day. But
Okay.
but to make it very simple, right?
Mhm.
You're now rewiring your brain. You're rewiring that particular part in your brain. So
Mhm.
now what you're doing is that you are teaching your subconscious mind that we are doing this. This is a good thing.
Mhm.
Now, there are instances with the subconscious mind. It's not all bad, ladies and gentlemen, because the subconscious mind is there to keep us as a safeguard. What do you mean by that, Sean? What I mean by that, especially too, if you ever experience any type of trauma, from a car accident to losing a loved one to maybe
Mhm.
something that happened to yourself or someone close that you know, and
Mhm.
that's a hurtful experience. So
Mhm.
what happens now, the mind and body is attached to that, and the
Mhm.
subconscious mind, it plays now as a safeguard, if you will, right?
Right.
Reminding you like, you know something, Sean, I don't think you want to do that because you remember X amount of years ago, and now mental images start coming into play. And it
Mhm.
comes even stronger to reinforce because the subconscious mind, it wants to keep you safe.
Hmm.
On that instance, such as obviously it's the reason why, any person that's in their right state of mind is not going to go to the top of a roof and then jump off the roof, right? Because in
Mhm.
our subconscious minds, it's been implanted and ingrained like, no, you do that, you
Mhm.
die,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
an example of how the way the subconscious mind will work. But in instances where if you're looking to have that type of transformation, you are looking to go to the next level, then listening to shows such as this, studying, researching, learning from others that are doing exactly on where you want to be, right?
Right.
Getting in
Right.
that
Right.
space, right? Practicing and learning, doing, hey, even a podcast, and you're coming on stumbling maybe for 10,000 times, but yet you come back and the next day you stumble still, but not as much as the first one. And then that what it does, it increases. So now you are starting to get, mini wins, as they like to call
Right.
it. By the way,
Right.
that stumbling part is actually a part of my testimony on how I started in terms of speaking and doing live streams. So as the more you keep doing that, now what you're doing is that you're training your subconscious mind to say next time when you're doing a live stream, as an example, we are doing this because guess what? Recently, I have evidence to support that I'm getting better. And when you
Right.
start getting better, you start to build this thing
Right.
called momentum.
Yes.
And then the
Yes.
momentum comes the confidence. Just
Mhm.
like if you guys didn't get that, perfect example with Miss Shelley, what she just mentioned. She knows that she's a minister. She did all the steps, she did all the training, she did
Right.
everything the right way. She did not cheat the process, right?
Right.
In terms of gaining her doctrine of ministry. But
Correct.
yet, but yet, at times, right, which is normal, at times that self-doubt creeps in or that imposter syndrome may try to creep in through the back door, saying
Correct.
that who you think you are, you're not a minister, you don't know X, Y, and Z, and just for like a split second. That's why it's very important for Michelle to continue to work, right? To continue to do the steps, continue to build those wins as evidence, right? So when the subconscious mind tries to come back and play that negative Nancy image, she
Right.
now has positive reinforcement.
Right.
And I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm getting deep, but now she done got me
No, come
started.
on. Come
So
on now.
now she has positive reinforcement to
Mhm.
support the fact that yes, she is a minister, and she's getting so much better in terms of her presentation, in terms of with the scriptures, in terms of using her intuition and the
Correct. Yeah.
God-given gifts that she has
Right.
been bestowed upon now to really maximize for the kingdom and become that true servant leader that she's always been destined to become. Not only as being a minister, excuse me, but also as a radio and TV personality and also as a businesswoman. So
Mhm.
as you see, the point in which I'm trying to get at is that rewiring your brain is so important. Another thing too, and then I'm gonna pass it to you. As you're rewiring your brain, the subconscious mind, what happens?
Right.
Your frequency goes up, right?
Mhm.
Be,
Mhm.
because our body is like a radio. So
Mhm.
depending upon what we're feeding ourselves into, right, on what we're watching, who we're listening to, what we're
Mhm.
attracting, down to what we're even eating, it
Right.
all dictates that.
Right.
So if you want to get to the next level and you want to move forward in your business, in your brand, in your life, then I
Right.
recommend for you to start, first of all, rewiring your brain. Secondly, study, learn, listen, do what you got to do on a positive basis, but do that every single day. On
Right.
Sundays, and on Saturdays, every single day, and do it in small increments. I hope somebody is writing this down because if you're not, you're missing out on a gold mine. Because I know if I was listening,
Yes.
I'll be right. I'll be having like a book full of notes. But you do it in small
Right.
increment steps. You don't try to do everything super big on day one when you're trying
Right.
to rewire your mind because if you're trying to do it big and you miss, naturally you're gonna get disappointed and you're gonna wind up saying, "Well, this didn't work," and hey, I tried. Can never be like Chevy, or I can never be like Shawn, or I can never be like fill in the blank.
Mhm.
But when you do it in small increments, again, it's about building the wins, ladies and gentlemen. It's about building your self confidence. It's about having that evidence to support. So when the subconscious mind tries to play like maybe a not so good image or not so good feeling, you have positive reinforcement to support on what you're doing. And guess what? The subconscious mind doesn't know on what's real and what's not, only
Mm.
on what you plant in it.
Mhm. Wow.
I hope somebody got something
Wow.
out of that. I hope
I
somebody
think
got
I
something
know
out of
I did. I know I did. Actually, I wanted to, because you had said for people that go to church and that I hate that word religious, But when you think about the scripture that you had said, it has in that scripture transform
Yes,
your
ma'am.
it has in that scripture.
Yes, ma'am.
It says that be let your mind be transformed.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, even as and the thing is that when we get there, when we get to that point of that, we have to be the ones that speak those positive affirmations in our lives. We have to be the ones that tell ourselves, you are worth it, that you are worth every gift that God can give you, that you are
Absolutely.
worth His love, that you are worth His grace, that you are worth Him being inside of you. You know, there's a scripture that we do not, as people, take to heart, and it talks, and when Jesus says that I have said that you are a king. And so when people say that I am a king, that it's like, what? I'm
Royalty.
not no
Yep.
king. No, I am
Mhm.
a king. Jesus said that I am a king. And so just taking that in and changing the way we think. Now, I know that you help businesses and I know that you have companies. Now, how do you help, let's say, a business?
Sure.
An
So
example,
with the
help it
yeah,
the business.
yeah, absolutely. So as being an entrepreneur, especially on social media, I can help businesses in a multitude of different ways, especially with my organization, which I'm a part of, the Small Business Network.
Okay.
Through marketing, through lead generation, through really presenting yourself on social media, right?
Okay.
Through the art of having conversations. That's very, very imperative, right? As far as for building up your social media presence on how to really present yourself, not only online, but also offline as well, on how to
Okay.
present yourself and market yourself. A lot of
Right.
people that's online, they miss the boat on that, right?
Okay.
It's so many different levels and manners that I can help an individual. It just depends as far as on what you're looking to achieve.
Okay.
So it's a multitude of different facets in which that I can help an individual. I just need to know as far as what's your brand, what's your business, and what are your goals, and
Mhm.
what is your strategy. A
Mhm.
lot of times when entrepreneurs or business owners, they'll use social media for the first time and they'll look at it as like, okay, well, I'm going to come on board and I'm just going to tell everybody about
Right.
what I do and my products and services and prices and everything else, and I'm
Mhm.
going to get tons of business and it's going to be flocking like crazy.
Right.
And the reality is this: is that you'll be lucky if you get one person to respond.
Mm.
Why do you say that? Because on social media, and this is the hard reality. So it's something which I had to learn. People don't care about your business. They really, really don't. They
Okay.
don't like you. They don't like you that much. They don't like you that much. However,
Right.
I train and teach individuals on a form of what is known as attraction marketing,
Okay.
which simply means that you have to learn the steps of building the know, like, and trust factor.
The
Because
know, like, and trust factor.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
So what do I mean by that? So when you're on social media and you are building up your business and your profile,
Mhm.
people have to get to know you. It's just like, for an example, if you meet someone for the very first time, in your instance, Michelle, before you met your husband, right? I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that when you guys first met, that he said, hey, I want to take you home, man. I want to make you mine instantly." No, he courted you. You guys got to know each other.
Mhm.
You spent some quality time together, and then for you, as you was going on your dates, you were wondering, is he the one, right?
Mhm.
You guys are
Mhm.
really building that bond, right? That friendship. And then
Mhm.
from there, you two, decide like, okay, you know what? Let's make it serious. And at that point, now obviously you're married. So with that, in terms of social media, it's very much the same because you're dealing with human beings. So
Right.
you have to give individuals the opportunity to get to know you. Doing podcasts like this is perfect because people are listening to you.
Okay.
They're seeing they can relate to you. They're
Okay.
watching your tonality. They're watching your pace, whether you talk fast or you talk slow, right?
Right.
They're getting to know you, right?
Okay.
The like portion is exactly what it is. Do they like you? Do they like the information that you're putting out there, right? Is it funny? Is it um informational? Is it entertaining? Is it inspiring? People like stuff like that because now what's happening is that you're giving people an opportunity to get to learn a little bit more about you versus here's my products, here's my services, and only for 10.99. If you buy now, you then
Mhm.
you get three ponies or whatever the sales gimmick is. People can't stand, they don't like being sold, especially on social media. Nobody likes being sold, but they want everything. Hold on, give
Mhm.
me 1 second.
Mhm.
And the trust factor is this: over the course of time, can they count on you being consistent? Can they count on you giving value? Can they count on you being a man or woman of your word? When you say that you're going to do something, these things is very important because guess what? They can't see you physically in person. They
Mhm.
can't be able to shake your hand or give you a hug or touch you in person. So what's the only thing that they have is
Mhm.
social media. And the thing is on here, people nowadays, right? The average attention span is like less than five
Let's
to
yeah.
six seconds.
Yeah.
So if you don't have something that grabs their attention, such as the way Christian talks show, right? If that's not an attention grabber, within the first few moments, I guarantee you probably got hundreds of people that's probably looking at that, and that gives them the option of whether saying, you know what, I'm gonna tune in and see what this is about, or say, oh, nah, that's not for me. But you
Right.
have to give people a choice. But what I'm saying is that yes, for business owners, yes, I get the importance of getting your business out there, right? Because it's about making money, right? Obviously, that's the only way you can stay in business. I get it, but if you, there's two ways you can build your business on social media in which help individuals with. You can either do it the fast way, if you want, is through with paid ads, right? With paid advertising, in which then, of course, if you have a budget to do so, then that's totally fine. But that's another strategy in itself. Or you do it, which I would say more than 85% of people in the
Mhm.
world actually, do, and you do it organically. And there's a method and a rhyme and a reason for that as well. So
Mhm.
that's a great question, Miss Shelley. It's a great question.
I had another question. I know that you're part of an organization called the Small Business Network,
Mhm.
and I know that that's your podcast. And so when it comes to helping small businesses transform to where they're at and where they want to be, do you say that that has now what I heard you just say that that has a lot to do with them? Not so much to do with the business. How you go about running your business has a lot to do with how you go about continuing. I know that there are some small businesses that people will go because they always had the best customer service, or because that person was always really nice to them, or because they just felt seen within that business. So, transforming a small business, talk to me a little bit about, because we have about maybe about 15 more minutes.
Okay,
Talk
sure.
to me about a little bit about that small business network.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in my humble opinion, I believe the best way to really transform a person's business, especially online, is through the power in TV, radio.
Okay.
TV and radio, if you think about it, it has so much power. It's the
Mhm.
reason why a lot of us may eat at our favorite restaurant, McDonald's, Wendy's, right? Burger King. They understand the power of TV and radio. They
Right.
understand that by them by they be able to build a brand, right? They'll then be able to introduce as far as their products, right?
Mhm.
That's a form of marketing and branding.
Mhm.
Likewise, with us with the Small Business Network, we give the small business entrepreneur the opportunity to be a radio and TV personality, a radio and TV host, to be a part of the organization because that's going to allow for them to be able to stand out over their competition. Because think about it, if you have two people that's in the health and wellness industry, one that's a radio and TV personality, the other isn't, but just using other methods, who you think is going to be able to get more exposure?
The
The
person
radio
that the radio and the TV, right.
Thank you. Exactly. So, as being a radio and TV personality, people listen to you more. They really pay more attention because of the fact that through the power of the airways in your voice, people are now able to grasp that information and really put it all into context. So
Mhm.
with us, with the Small Business Network, we give you the opportunity as far as on TV and radio. Also, in addition as well, we have a lot of great things going on. We have the business magazine, which by the way, we highlight individuals on a periodic basis. This week and for the next week, we're going to be highlighting one of our partners, Miss Bettina Marie Thomas. She's a serial entrepreneur, so you get that exposure. You also have, oh, excuse me, a multitude of other different services in which that we do mention. There's so much, Miss Shelley. Honestly, it'll probably take about literally another 2 hours to explain each and every single one. We got the podcast, right? We have a whole literally a smorgasbord. Some people have considered us as being like a social media agency, and we're
Mhm.
sure, again, yeah, I'll definitely take that. But the point is that if you really want to, as a business owner, as a entrepreneur, someone that's aspiring to be an entrepreneur, being a radio and TV personality is the best thing that you can do to boost your career, especially on social media. Which, by the way, we teach others as far as on how to use social media for their benefits by using Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, all the social media handles, and how to use it correctly because there's a strategy to that as well.
Mhm.
So if you're looking to really radically gain customers and get more exposure, and if that's something
Mhm.
that's of interest, we can definitely have a conversation. If you put in the comments or send me a message, and we can definitely discuss that. But being a radio and TV personality, I'm telling you, it is truly a game changer. Truly a
Mhm.
game changer. I'm talking about radio and TV, not a podcast, not a podcast. I'm talking about
Mhm.
radio and TV. That's
Okay.
totally different. Totally different.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If someone wanted to reach you, because you do the Small Business Network podcast, am I correct?
Also, in addition as well, the partner, I'm one of the partners and CEOs. So I also too, because we air every Saturday at 2 p.m. with the Small
Okay.
Business Network. And my partner, Dr. James, he's actually in the studios back in Dallas, Texas. And
Okay.
that's live. That is live.
So, how would they be able? I know that your Facebook page is Shawn A. Period White. And so, how would they be able to get in contact with you just through your Facebook and Messenger right now?
Oh no, absolutely not. So through Instagram, I go under Mr. So that's MR, the underscore sign, Politic 35. On YouTube, I go under Shawn A. White. On TikTok, I go under, you guessed it, Shawn A. White. And on all the other social media platforms, I like to keep it consistent, Shawn A. White.
Okay. All right. And if they wanted to use your services to transform their businesses, they can also reach out to you in those
Absolutely, a
platforms.
thousand percent, a thousand percent,
Okay.
thousand percent.
Wow. Well, I have learned something tonight. I have learned something that I'm going to definitely put into practice. I am going to take more control of my subconscious and make my subconscious obedient to my conscious
Hmm.
and watch, and I've started doing that, watching what I say, watching what comes out of my mouth, watching how I say things to even to myself.
Hmm.
Um, because we all have the power to change our surroundings. It does take time. It does take time. It takes a lot of time, to get into it takes a long time to get into a uh a situation, and it takes just as long or longer to get out of a situation. And so we just have to practice patience. I heard that we need to be patient with ourselves. We need to make sure that we're telling ourselves who we are, not who we'd like to be, but
Correct.
who we are. I heard that we have to take control of our mind and not let our mind take control of us, and
Right.
that it is a spiritual way of doing things, because the scriptures does say, let your minds be transformed. And so when we have to, and we're not, it's not anything spooky or, anything like that. And I do think that even, with our community, we are we are not quick we're not quick to go see a therapist. We're not quick
Hmm.
to go see a psychotherapist. We're not quick. We're not quick to go see someone that would help us to understand how to transform ourselves and how to take care of ourselves. We're very quick to go to the doctor to get that pill. We're
Yep.
very quick to go and, get that medicine, but we're
Yep.
not quick to take care of our minds.
Correct.
And so that's something that I am going to definitely be um, knocking on that door a whole lot more until we get that door all the way off the hinge. That we
Absolutely.
have to take care of our minds, that our minds are so delicate and we just don't understand. Sean, I thank you.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
thank you so much for coming on the show. I thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I thank you so much. If you can let the people know again, how to get in contact with you.
1,000%. So on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, and I'm hoping that you are, you can find me as Shawn A. White. You're going to see this handsome devil here, right? Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, I had to say that. That's right. I claim that. On Instagram, on Instagram, I'm under Mister the underscore sign politic POLITIC 35. That's on Instagram. On LinkedIn, I'm under Shawn A. White, Transformation Greatness. On YouTube, under Shawn A. White. TikTok, Shawn A. White. Threads, Shawn A. White. NX, or Twitter, whatever you call, Shawn A. White.
Okay. So you are on all the platforms.
Yes, ma'am.
So does one of when you do your podcast, do they show on all those platforms?
When I do that, because I use StreamYard, I have it mostly designated as far as to Facebook. But what I'm planning on doing, I'm planning on upgrading to the Pro plan, which is going to give me the capability to have it streamed on Facebook, Instagram, and as well as YouTube.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Sean, at the end of my show and at the end of your show, you do like to ask your guests to say something positive to leave an inspirational message. What
Hmm.
would your inspirational message be for the listeners?
Ladies and gentlemen, in a time such as this, with everything which is going on, I don't have to remind you of what's happening in the world. You are being called to really be able to make an impact and a change. I don't know as far as what your gifts and talents are, but I do know this, that Now is the time. Now is the time to start dreaming. Now is the time to start believing. But more importantly, now is the time to take action. This is the only way in which that the next generation will even be able to have a chance.
Mm,
If we be the ones that go out there and say, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm
mm,
going to serve in my community. I'm
mhm,
going to serve in my home. I'm going to serve in my businesses and my job. We have to be the example for that next generation. And
mhm,
I just believe, I'm just a firm believer that each and every single one of us is truly designed for greatness. And we're only existing
mhm,
to do great and amazing things
mhm.
because our creator has already equipped us with that. He already
Yes.
given me and you with gifts and talents. The whole key thing is, and I recommend if you're one of them people that say, well, Sean, that sounds great, but I don't know what my gifts and talents are.
Mhm,
Do me a huge favor, get into a quiet space
mhm,
and really ask the creator, what is my purpose here?
mm,
What am I supposed to be doing? And sit down. Don't say anything. Once you ask the question, sit down and listen.
mm,
And I can assure you, just like when I was in that dire situation and
mhm.
through divine intervention, my creator spoken with me and given me this beautiful brand, I assure you, he's going to go ahead and show you. He's going to make it very plain and clear to the point that you're going to say, oh, and then at that time, it's your obligation and responsibility to start going to work and making it happen. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
That's your story, you're sticking with it. All right.
Hmm.
Well, Sean, it has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure. I'm definitely going to have you back on so we can go even deeper because you can't take us that deep and then, just bring us back to just the surface of it. You have to take us deep and then bring us out of the water. So we're gonna even go deeper into that. And I would love to talk to
Good,
you about that
good, good.
because, it has been a lot of information that's been given tonight, but it was good. It was good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I also wanted to let everyone know that Sean is going to be at the retreat, at the Power of Self Love retreat in Chicago on July 18th through the 21st. He is going to be there. You can go on. Um, Let me make sure that I have that. You
Isn't it?
can
Yep.
go on www.tposlretreat.com and you can sign up and get a ticket. I do want to make sure that there is somebody that's on Facebook that's reaching out to some people about the retreat. If it is not Shonda or Alicia or Shelly LJ, please do not give them any money. Please do not give them any money.
Yeah,
They're running a scam.
yeah.
And so, I'm glad that they believe in the retreat. I'm glad that, but they can't make their money off of somebody else's hard work. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
work like that. So Sean is going to be at the retreat. He is going to be our resident therapist there, and he's going to be able to help us as we go through our transformation of where we're at and where we need to be. And so he's definitely going to be there. So please, please, please make sure that you can go on you can go on the website, the Power of Self Love Retreat, TPOSL retreat.com. And also if you do not receive the message that they've been going on is their name is Christine McDowell, and they are trying to accompany with Shonda or Alicia. Her name is Deshonda Palcher. And so she's trying to company up and say that she is with her. She is not. So
Mm.
please be advised. Please let everyone know that that is not from us. That is not from us. But again, we are going to be talking about the retreat really, really soon. Our show is coming up that's just dedicated to the retreat. So hopefully Sean will be able to come back with us when we do that show, and we'll be talking
Yeah.
to the ladies that are going to be talking and speaking at that retreat. So I will let you guys know. I will definitely let you guys know when we will have that show, when that show will be coming up. So definitely look out for that. But Sean, again, I wanted to thank you for being on the show. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for all of my radio listeners that are on Inspiration Digital Radio and Inspiration 98.7. How your mama and them, y'all? And so I just wanted to thank all of my listeners that are all across the way. We go all the way to Germany. We go all the way to we go across the seas and back. So we have people that are around the world that are listening to us that just learn how to transform their mind. And I want to thank all of my Facebook listeners. I want to thank for all of my viewers. If you come in after on replay, just put hashtag replay so we could know that you have listened and watched the show after it aired. And also on Inspiration 98 Point YouTube. I want to say hello to all of them, and of course, all to the Way Christian Talk family on Facebook. I'm just grateful that you guys are listening, that you guys are coming in. All righty, Sean. Well, you have a great night, and I'm sure that I'll see you soon.
Sure will. Thank you
All
so
right,
much. Thank
no
you.
problem. Bye bye. All right, guys. Well, that was our show. We had Shawn A. White on the show, and he was talking about how to how to transform your mind. And to do that, we just have to make sure that we are taking our thoughts, taking that stinking thinking and changing that stinking thinking to smell good thinking, to improve thinking, to uplift thinking, to doing better thinking. It takes time to get there, but if every day you hit that same spot in that rock will crack. So I want you guys to remember that. I want to take time and thank my sponsors for sponsoring me for Inspiration 98.7. I just want to thank them. And also, I want to let you guys know who we're going to have on the show for next week. So stay tuned and you guys will see all of the sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor, the information will be on the screen in just a moment. So I wanted to thank you guys and I'm praying for you. You guys pray for me. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the Way Christian Talk.